Hi. Hey, folks. Am I audible to you guys? Hey, folks. Hi, Mayank. Hi, how are you doing, man? Hi, Mayank. Hi. Jaldi video like karo. Today we are going to do an amazing video. For sure. Hey, Nitya. Hi, how are you doing? Jaldi. Everyone who is there, just like the video. Put it across. Hey, Slim Shady. Hey, Ankit. Hi. Very cool. Very cool. Amazing. बहुत बढ़िया. Guys, whosoever is on the stream, please like the video. We are going to do an amazing video today. Awesome. Hey, Shweta. Hey, Saloni. Hi. How are you doing? क्या चल रहा है? How is the Sunday doing? Hey, what's your name? Mew Tech. Okay. Hey, Mew Tech. Hi, how are you doing? Please like the video. As many people who have come here, today we are going to do an amazing session. So there will be two parts. I'll Unfortunately, what happened in the last week, I was not able to get a lot of time in making the detailed presentation of how to solve product design questions. But I'll give you some context. And initially, in the first 30 minutes, we will build that context. And then after the 30 minutes, I really want to do an AMA. But next week, what we will do is, once we have more time, I want to design a framework for you. Not necessarily, it's not like a framework, but a thinking structure for you to essentially talk about what is product management, what are all. Acha, hey Slim Shady, you're from Bangladesh. Very cool, yeah, very cool. Hey Frank, hi. Please like the video as much as possible. Share it across with your friends. Please do that, right? So we'll start in another like 2 minutes, 2 more minutes, and that is everything that will. Hey Harshit, awesome. Very nice to meet you. Your Sunday starts with my teaching. Very cool, man. Very cool. Mock interviews. अच्छा, Cosmic Karma is saying, भैया mock interviews हम कैसे practice करें? तो यार देखो. So let me first talk to you about something very crystal clear, right? Without mock interviews, without actually practicing across, in no way you are going to be able to solve a PM interview. That's not going to happen. I'm sorry about that, right? Because whatever I've taught you is just a one example of how you essentially look at things, right? But in order to apply them and essentially build a structure in which you are able to kind of use it in ambiguous problems, like अगर मैं तुमसे ये कल को पूछ लूं, can you design a fridge for kids or fridge for the elderly? It's a very random ambiguous problem, right? You have to start putting that structure, whatever you have thought across, into that perspective and build a structure on top of it. Like, you start thinking about what are my clarifying questions, what should be my vision, what should be my ideal user set, what should be their user needs, how do you I come up with solutions, how do I validate those solutions. So it's going to be effectively be the same thing, right? So in order to do mock interviews, let's do one more thing. I'll start a community. In the community, any two random people who are essentially looking for a mock interview, they essentially should pair up and should try to do mock interviews over there on random problems that you essentially try to pick up. इसके बिना कोई तरीका नहीं है. कोई सर्टिफिकेशन ले लो, कोई कोर्स ले लो, not going to happen. Everybody aligned with me? Give me a yes or no in the chat if everybody is aligned with me. जल्दी बताओ. ठीक है. Give me a yes in the chat and we will effectively start our session. Give me a yes. जल्दी. अरे लिखो भाई, लिखो. बहुत सही यार, बहुत सही. लिखो. बहुत सही. Cool. So today we are going to talk about something. So let me just share my screen. Give me a second. ठीक है. I should be able to. एक मिनट यार. Give me a second. I just want to open something. एक मिनट दे दो मुझे यार. Just give me a 1 minute and I will essentially then probably talk about it. हाँ ठीक है. तो if you are able to see my screen, ठीक है. Are you able to see this Excel spreadsheet that I've kind of shared across? Are you able to see the Excel spreadsheet which I am sharing across? If everybody is able to see, give me a yes, yes, yes in the chat. Amazing. Awesome. So let's talk about what product design isn't. Okay. Okay. So according to you, what do you mean by product design? Okay. So guys, again, please tell me, what do you mean by product design? I want answers. What do you mean by product design? Come on, come on, come on. I need answers. I need answers. What is product design? Come on, come on, come on. और जिसने वीडियो लाइक नहीं किया वो जल्दी लाइक करो. That's more important. हाँ, ठीक है. तो ये बताओ, what is product design according to you guys? अरे जय श्री राम से आगे बढ़ो यार. मैं क्वेश्चन पूछ रहा हूं, जवाब दो. What is product design? What is product design? Okay, somebody has written expression of usability, solving problem by designing experiences. Okay, process of ideating, developing, refining products that meet specific market needs and solve user problem, engaging UI. So, okay, engaging UI. Okay, Shweta Das is saying then Priya Varshne's process of creating products, etc. ABCD, whatever. Okay. Everybody is fine. Okay. The product design is the whole UX related to the product itself. Okay. So, सबसे पहले तो हम ये decide करते हैं कि first principle thinking क्या होती है? What is first principle thinking? Then we'll talk about what is product thinking, and then we'll talk about what is design thinking. ठीक है? सबसे पहले first principle thinking is the concept of figuring out the core assumptions in a particular product which don't change. Like, I'll give you an example. Think of, I have given this example multiple times. Whenever you get a great experience, like you are ordering something from Swiggy, right? It is like a first principle behavior that you say that if I give food at an optimal cost and simultaneously it comes in the right time and it's the right quality and everything, and if you give a very good food selling experience, people will not go to the preceding experience, which is actually going to the restaurant, standing there in a queue, right? And do all of those things, right? So you would essentially move to a new experience, which is, so what are those variables? I'll write those across. So just let me just open this across. Yeah, not this. Sorry. Yes. Okay. So old food booking experience. ठीक है. तो इसको हम यहाँ पे लिखते हैं और यहाँ पे लिखते हैं रेस्टोरेंट और यहाँ पे लिखते हैं स्विगी. ठीक है. Now, time taken to order something. ठीक है. Because it's a restaurant, it doesn't have that many options, that many structures across it. You might find it, you might now not find it. On an average, it will take to 1 to 2 hours to effectively find the place where you actually get the food you want. क्योंकि अब अगर मानो स्विगी जैसी कोई चीज एग्जिस्ट नहीं करती थी, if let's assume there wasn't anything that Swiggy, you would have to look down the internet, looked at the listings of multiple restaurants, picked up, called them that do you have biryani, do you have this, do you have do not, right? And it would have taken you 1 to 2 hours. In Swiggy, it takes you 10 minutes. And then price, right? General price, the cost that you incur is that you have to go to the restaurant. Okay? You have to stand in a queue. Okay? And you have to pay the price which the restaurant owner decides. Okay? It has no competition. Okay? Swiggy, standardized prices. Right? Second thing is that, right? So this is the second thing. Price में भी आपको standardized मिलते हैं. Third, time taken. It will take you probably 1 to 2 hours to go to the restaurant, pick up the food, bring it back. Swiggy, it will take you 45 minutes. मैक्स, कभी कभी ज्यादा हो जाता है, बट ऑन एन एवरेज 45 मिनट्स. सो प्रैक्टिकली यू स्पेंड 4 to 5 hours on getting the food you wanted, probably at a higher cost than market. On the contrary, Swiggy mein the same thing happened in 55 minutes at a great cost and simultaneously competitive discovery. Correct? यहां तक सब aligned है मेरे साथ? ये बात सब agree करते हैं? What I am saying right now, is everybody in alignment with me? Right? Right? Tell me, यहां तक clarity है? Right? So tell me, on the very same thing that we just did right now, would you ever go back to the restaurant experience? Would you ever go back to the restaurant experience? Yes or no? Would you ever go back to the restaurant experience? Because the Swiggy experience is so better, right? You would never go back. What is this first principle here that you are getting, right? The first principle is that anything that adds value to your life in an affordable structure, right? You would not want to leave that experience, right? That is why we say that anything that adds value adds happiness to your life, and anything that adds happiness to your life, you want to repeat that experience, right? So if A is equal to B is equal to C, then anything that adds value to your life adds, you want to repeat that experience. That's why we say in product management that great product experience have high retention. Ab baat chamki. Pretty much. But from a market, so Cosmic Karma is saying if we enjoy the restaurant work very much, that's an alternate problem statement, right? I am not saying that restaurants will be dissolved, but that's an experience that you want to inculcate. 99% of the time when you order food, it may not be the, or 95% of the time, the experience is that you want to get your food, right? 5% times you want to visit a restaurant with your spouse, you want to do things, bunch of things over there. You have to design the experience completely differently in that case. That's why there were different startups like Food Panda, Groupon, etc., ABCD, Zomato, whatever they did, right? But the thesis of the first principle there was different, right? I hope I'm so yahan tak sab aligned, everybody aligned with me that a first principle is that anything that adds value to your life adds happiness to your life. Anything that adds happiness to your life, you want to repeat that experience, right? So if effectively anything that adds value to your life, you essentially want to repeat that experience, do it consistently again and again, again and again. That's why you don't go to a vendor, flight booking vendor now, you go to Make My Trip, because that experience is simpler, right? You don't essentially call a taxi service, you book Uber. That's a simpler experience, right? And that's why we say any great experience, right, should have higher retention. Yahan tak sab log mere sath clear hai? This is what you call as first principle thinking. What is the underlying principle or intrinsic motivation of the customer to repeat that experience? Make sense? Make sense? Yahan tak sab aligned hai mere sath? Give me a yes, yes, yes in the chat if everybody is aligned with me. सबको मेरी बात, अभी हमने सिर्फ फर्स्ट प्रिंसिपल की बात की है. चमका सबको? Come on, give me a yes in the chat. Yeah. Awesome. So I think most people are aligned here. Now, second question. What is product thinking? Can somebody tell me what's product thinking? Jaldi batao. What is product thinking? What is product thinking to you guys? Jaldi batao. Tell me what is product thinking. तो फर्स्ट प्रिंसिपल थिंकिंग हमने डिसाइड कर लिया. इट इज finding the hypothesis which essentially adds value to people's life, and we say it is going to stay true for a consistent amount of time, a significant amount of time. That's your first principle, right? What is product thinking? Okay, product according to, how do I pronounce your name? Khawak, whatever. ठीक है. Problem solving methodology for developing valuable solution for user problems. ठीक है? Stepping into cosmic karma says stepping into the shoes of a potential user, identifying problems using first principles and solving them. To a certain level, you are absolutely right, dude. Right? ठीक है? Thinking for product, whatever, thinking of creating a product that solves any issue or makes your life easy. Okay, so product thinking is essentially when you start thinking from a product layer perspective. What I mean by that is that now you have identified a first principle which kind of resides in the problem space, which you essentially say, okay, so this is the problem, and based on this problem I want to build a hypothesis. How do product thinking essentially means how do you translate that into some kind of a product layer which essentially kind of solves the problem at some level at scale, right? What I mean by that is that essentially, if you're trying to solve a macro problem, you have identified a first principle that this has to exist. How do I essentially come up with a solution or the fundamental thesis of that solution through which I can build some level of technology layer on top of it, which can solve the problem at scale? That is what you call as product thinking. Product thinking is coming up of solutions which can be used at scale to solve a potential problem which we have identified through first principle. So cosmic karma is actually right in a certain level. Yes, that it essentially, but the important part about product thinking is that we always start thinking from this perspective that how will this solution translate at scale, right? यहां तक बात समझ में आ गई तो तुम्हें पता चल गया प्रोडक्ट थिंकिंग लेयर पे यू इफेक्टिवली कम अप विद अ सॉल्यूशन, right? That this is what kind of solution should exist, right? And if this solution exists, the problem would be solved, right? Fair enough? यहां तक सब aligned है मेरे साथ? ठीक है कि what is product thinking? First principle thinking is identifying of that hypothesis. Second, how does your product layer or your technology layer essentially solve that problem at scale is the attitude of a great product thinker. यहां तक बात सबके साथ क्लियर है, अलाइंड है सब मेरे साथ? ठीक है. अब सेकंड स्टेप के बाद व्हाट इज डिजाइन थिंकिंग? व्हाट इज डिजाइन थिंकिंग? ये जो ज्ञान वाले वर्ड्स होते हैं ना, मेरे को बड़े अच्छे लगते हैं सुनने में. फर्स्ट प्रिंसिपल हो गया, प्रोडक्ट थिंकिंग. डिजाइन थिंकिंग क्या हो गया? व्हाट इज डिजाइन थिंकिंग? गाइस जल्दी बताओ व्हाट इज डिजाइन थिंकिंग? व्हाट इज डिजाइन थिंकिंग अकॉर्डिंग टू यू? यस, जल्दी बताओ. Hey, hey Sayam, how are you doing, man? Awesome. जल्दी बताओ. What is design thinking? Okay, I'm going to give you 2 minutes. I'll just go and have some water. ठीक है? तो 2 मिनट में मेरे को आंसर्स चाहिए. What is design thinking? और गूगल मत करना, अपने दिमाग से बताना. गूगल मत करना, ठीक है? ठीक है. I'm just coming in 2 minutes, but I want answers. ठीक है? Okay. So it's right now 12:18, 12:20 पे. I would essentially want more answers. ठीक है? Okay. बताया नहीं किसी ने मेरे को अभी तक, आंसर नहीं आया यहाँ पे. लुक एंड फील ऑफ द प्रोडक्ट एटसेट्रा. ओके, तो मैं थोड़ा आई जस्ट वांट टू टॉक अबाउट इट. ठीक है यार, देखो एक बात समझने की कोशिश करो. मैं तुम्हें ना एक ज्ञान नहीं देना चाहता. ऑल ऑफ द स्टेटमेंट्स दैट यू आर राइटिंग ना, इनका मतलब क्या है? ठीक है, लेट मी जस्ट एक्सप्लेन इट टू यू. गिव मी अ सेकंड. वेयर इज द एक्सेल? ठीक है, थोड़ा नीचे चलते हैं. तो हमने सबसे पहले बोला व्हाट इज फर्स्ट प्रिंसिपल थिंकिंग. ठीक है, इट रिजाइड्स इन द प्रॉब्लम स्पेस. ठीक है, इट इज अबाउट आइडेंटिफाइंग a core value prop which stays true over a significant population and span of time. ये क्लियर है? अलाइंड है यहां पे? यस 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 लिखो. अगर ये क्लियर है तो ये यहां पे लिख दो. ये समझ में आ गया कि फर्स्ट प्रिंसिपल में हम उस वैल्यू प्रॉप को आइडेंटिफाई करने की कोशिश करते हैं जो विच इज वैलिड over a significant population and over a significant span of time. Aligned? Everybody is agreed with me? ठीक है. What is then second is what is product thinking? It stays in the solution space, identifying product layer ideas which essentially solve the problem or the hypothesis at scale. Make sense? यहां तक भी aligned है? ठीक है. Everybody is with me till now? Give me a yes or no. देखो चैट में आग लग जानी चाहिए. चैट में मतलब हाँ 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 करो. बढ़िया. ठीक है. उसके बाद आता है डिजाइन थिंकिंग. अब मैं आपसे ना एक इंटरेस्टिंग सवाल पूछना चाहता हूं. ठीक है. सो अज्यूम. ठीक है. सो जस्ट टेक एन assumption. ठीक है. You went to makemytrip.com and what happened was that you wanted to book a ticket. Now their flight booking UI, which is like from to wherever you see that, it's on some random page somewhere where the discovery is very poor, right? The page is not easy, even though the same service actually solves the problem for. So assume there are two websites. One is Vistara, one is Make My Trip. Okay? In Make My Trip, the finding, the search or the discovery of basically putting the values of from to how many people where you want to travel is on some random page. On Vistara it's on the front page, the home page. In spite of the same product adding the same value to your life that it is helping you book tickets, right? Can you tell me which website will you use? Will you use Vistara? Will you use Make My Trip? Tell me that. Will you use Vistara or will you use Make My Trip? I am saying the value prop is the same, practically. Both. Will you use Vistara, which has the same booking flow on the homepage, and Vistara, which Make My Trip, which has the same functionality but on some random page on the website? Not fiction, dude. Friction. cool कोई बात नहीं, मैं वैसे ही मजे ले रहा था तेरे. कोई बात नहीं, ठीक है. But anyways, yes. So design thinking is the layer after product thinking, which essentially means that I have figured out a value. Now, how do I make it so simple for people to consume it in the first 30 seconds? Correct? That is what is. That's why you see across the world, take any travel website, they have fundamentally the same UX. Correct. Ankit is right. It's the ease and simplicity of using the product. So design thinking is the layer. How do you essentially provide value to the end customer of your product in the least possible effort? Again, I'll repeat. Design thinking is the thinking process in which you essentially give the value of the application to the end user in the smallest possible effort. बात समझ में आई? Is it clear? Everybody aligned with me? What I mean by that is, for example, take an idea of an iPhone. iPhone है क्या? It's a supercomputer. You can do practically anything on it, right? But in order to set that phone up, right, it takes you practically 10 minutes. You effectively have a supercomputer in your, right? Supercomputer in your pocket. But on the contrary, you are essentially very easily able to essentially use the product because of the design thinking layer. They have figured out that what is the easiest possible onboarding flow through which you can cover 60-70% of whatever applications the iPhone does in 10 minutes. Aligned everybody with me? Give me a yes, yes, yes in the chat. यहां तक बात सबको क्लियर है? Is everybody with me? What I'm trying to put across? Give me a yes, yes, yes. So design thinking, ये बात सबको क्लियर है? Everybody aligned with me कि what is design thinking? Everybody agreed with me? Amazing, amazing. So design thinking is the layer where the value of the product layer is given to the end user in the least possible effort or time. Now, from here originate what you call as product design questions. So now you understand that the product design questions reside at the design layer, which essentially means you figured out a solution. What is the most beneficial UI, UX, information design, interaction design, so that the value of the end product is delivered in the fastest possible way, right? Let me give you another example, right? So let's look at Uber as an example. Okay? So design thinking in general has four core pillars. Who can tell me about the four core pillars? Is there someone who can talk about the four core pillars of design thinking? Can somebody tell me what does it even mean? किसी को पता है? What are the four core levers of design thinking? It's not like liver, body वाला liver नहीं बोल रहा, LEVER बोल रहा हूं मैं. What are the four core levers of design thinking? Can somebody tell me that? Okay, Nikhil is saying user is a pillar. No, not really. Interaction design is a pillar. For sure, interaction design is a pillar. Absolutely. What else? What else is there? Information architecture. Very cool. Information design is a pillar. ठीक है. Fair enough. Okay. Joy of usage simplicity is like a principle, but it's not a pillar. It's not a pillar. It's pillars essentially means on which you build design layers. Visual design is another pillar. Okay. So I think Mayank has some idea about it, but let me tell you. So the four layers of product design are: number one, conceptual design. Number two, information design. Number three, interaction design. Number four, visual design. Right? Absolutely. These are the four pillars of conceptual design, information architecture or information design, whatever you want to call it, interaction design, and visual design. Now, as product managers, what mistake do we do? We spend a lot of time on visual design. Don't we do that? UI बढ़िया है तो यार product भी अच्छा ही होगा. ऐसा ही बोलते हैं ना हम. ऐसा ही बोलते हैं ना. Where do according to you as product managers, aspiring people, where do you think most people spend most of their time? बताओ. Tell me. This is interesting. I see 32 people. Please like the video. Please. मैं बीच में अपनी marketing भी करता रहता हूँ. ठीक है. तो वो सब करते रहना. But anyways, tell me, where do people spend most of their time? हाँ. हाँ, I am going to explain. यार सही है. I am going to explain that only. I'll do that. But the first question is, where do people spend most of their time? सुंदर बनाने में. बहुत बढ़िया. Nitya is absolutely right. सुंदर बनाने में. That's correct. So unfortunately, the way people build products is people spend 50% here, maybe 30% here, maybe 10% here. यहाँ तो सोचते ही नहीं है 5% होगा. Probably. Right? On the contrary, great product managers do 60% here, 20% here, 10% here, and probably 10% here. This is great product. This is okay product. Maybe works, maybe doesn't. Right? Make sense? Right? Now, what do you mean by these things? Okay, so let me ask you a question. Again, another question to you guys. Okay? Another question to you guys is, what is conceptual design? Can somebody tell me? Yes, absolutely, Nikhil. This is the iceberg image where the tip of the iceberg, 3-4 layers are present. Correct. So can somebody tell me what is conceptual design? Can somebody tell me what's conceptual design? बताओ बताओ, what is conceptual design according to you guys? अच्छा, कभी अपने आप से ये सवाल पूछा है कि यार, why does Uber have a map like interface whenever you want to book a cab? Tell me, have any of you asked yourself this question, that why does Uber have a map like interface? Why can't it be a listing structure? Why can't it be some other kind of interface? Why do every cab application in the world have a map like interface? Answer this question now. You use those applications day in day out, right? Why do they have a map like interface? Why can't any other interface? Why can't it be a listing interface where you can search for your thing and it shows you cards? Why does it happen? Okay, framework for establishing the underlying idea behind a design and plan is visually expressed visually, something like that. No, नहीं सोचा, right? नहीं सोचा. Can somebody सोच के बताओ ना कि ऐसा क्यों है? किसी ने तो, हाँ, मानिक ने सही बात लिखी है. मैप दिखता है तो लोगों को फील आता है ट्रैवल का कि मैं एक जगह से दूसरी. सो whenever you think of travel, the thought that people have in their head is, I want to go from A location to B location. And what is the most logical construct which will get built in your head when you want to visualize that? That is a map. That's the most logical way to. That is why you consistently start thinking towards conceptual design, right? What is the image people will think about when we are essentially building this product for them? We don't have to build something which is completely flipped, right? And if you do a poor job in conceptual design, कितना ही अच्छा information design बना लो, however good the interaction design, however good the visual design, nobody is going to use it because they cannot relate to the product. So I'll give you another example. How many of you have heard about this product called Superhuman? How many of you have actually thought about this product called Superhuman? Who has heard about Superhuman? Superhuman is an email client, by the way. But how many of you know about Superhuman? Guys, tell me who has heard about Superhuman? Give me a yes or no, yes or no. Okay, Harshit has heard about Superhuman. Fair enough. Okay, then Ankit has heard about Superhuman. Harshit has heard about Superhuman for the first time. So, okay, so Superhuman is an email client. It's a $1 billion company, right? And their conceptual design was, their thought was that email in general is not something strategic in people's life. Email for most people is like a task. If you get an email where your manager asks you something about something, you effectively answer that across, and if you want to discuss something, you effectively book a meeting. That's exactly what you do 96% of the cases, right? 4% there might be strategic discussions on email also, but 95% cases email is more like a task. You might need some data, you might to give some feedback, you might to want to add somebody else in the thread. So it's majorly a task, right? So they thought how people do tasks effectively. People do tasks. I'm talking about task and tactical चीजें and strategic चीजें दो अलग चीजें होती हैं. Tactical things essentially mean which is a task. You have to do this. That if you have to essentially prepare for an exam, you have to do these 100 questions. Like writing a PRD is a task, but it has some strategic element also. But practically anything that you essentially can break down at a cellular level is a task. Aligned? यहां तक सब मेरे साथ aligned है? Give me a yes or no. Is everybody aligned with me? Email, 90% of the scenarios, it's a task that you have to give information, you have to receive information, you have to probably add people. Give me a yes, yes, yes. Make sense? Right? Now, do you know what they did? They said, let us build, if the conceptual design is that people think of emails as a task, why don't we build the product like that? So when you use Superhuman, it only shows you next, 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 next. What's the next task? What's the next task? What essentially happens because of that is that people end up cleaning their entire email structure in 2 hours, because they are not seeing anything else. They're not going to any other thread. They're just seeing what is the next task. I want to do the next. I want to do next. I want to do next. And essentially, if you have 10 things to read, you essentially cover all 10. So from a conceptual design perspective, they did a lot of research to understand how people perceive, because their goal was very clear. Can we essentially declutter the email inbox like completely? Their goal is inbox zero. Inbox zero basically means a point where you essentially see zero mails, zero unread mails in your inbox. और ये मेरे साथ भी कभी नहीं हुआ. I'm sure nobody in the group who is actually studying there, they might have an inbox zero. And that is the reason they built a great product. They spent considerable time on conceptual design. And they said, then the second part is information design, right? So conceptual design by everybody is aligned with me. What is conceptual design? Yahan tak baat sabko clear hai? What is conceptual design? How do we effectively build conceptual design? वो हम discuss करेंगे. We will discuss all of those things. How do you figure that out? There's a process. But what is conceptual design? ये बात सबको clear है. Conceptual design is the first segue to understand how a consumer might perceive a solution to work. Make sense? Give me a yes, yes, yes. अगर यहाँ तक सबको clarity है. If everybody is aligned with me till now, just give me a yes, yes, yes in the chat. Okay, so Nikhil Patel is saying one liner में repeat कर दो. Conceptual design is the thought process of how your end user might actually perceive your solution might be. That what is the image of the solution when you essentially want to present it to the consumer, that is formed in their head based on their intrinsic motivations or whatever and whatnot, right? That is why conceptual design is really important, to understand how the consumer is actually perceiving it, right? That is really, really, because if you build something, ओके सो संयम है भैया, फिर जैसे स्विगी वगैरह में मैप्स शो होता है फॉर डिलीवरी गाय, जेप्टो नहीं शो करता, देन इट्स अ कांसेप्ट. ओके, सो इंटरेस्टिंग थिंग. सो व्हाई डजंट जेप्टो डू इट? बिकॉज the point is, for Zepto, their promise is that we'll deliver it in 10 minutes. Why do you even care then? Why do you really want to see a map if it gets delivered in 10 minutes? Because their value prop is different, right? From a conceptual design perspective, if I say that something is getting delivered to you in 10 minutes, you would not care where it's coming from, right? You would say that 10 minutes to hai. But if I make this 10 minutes to 1 hour, at that point of time you would want to see, yaar 1 घंटा hai yaar, to mujhe dekhna hai ki where is the person, why is the person stuck there, because it's taking time, it's a longer time. But if it's like 10 minutes, why would you care? I'm being very honest about it, right? Agar main aaj ki date mein Sayam, if I tell you that I'm going to teach you how to crack a product interview in 10 minutes versus I am going to take 16 hours, right? Where would you plan your structure better? I'm asking a simple question. There's a solution which helps you crack product management interviews in 10 minutes, and there's a solution which helps you crack in 16 hours, right? In 16 hours, you might have to figure out your structure, how are you available, are you not available, all of those things, right? But if in 10 minutes, would you even care? Do you even want to see it from a conceptual design perspective, that how the structure of the course would be and stuff like that, right? It doesn't matter, right? Understood. So that is conceptual design. Sayam, is it clear to you? Nikhil, is it clear to you what I'm trying to put across to you guys? Give me a yes, yes in the chat and I'll move forward. जल्दी बताओ. Okay, understood. आ गया समझ. ठीक है. The next part is information design. Information design essentially means on your application, right? How do you structure information so that it becomes consumable for the end user in the easiest possible way, right? What I mean by that is the same example that I gave you, Make My Trip, the same example that which I gave you across for Make My Trip. Why do you essentially see that Make My Trip or any website has the first thing in information architecture as from to. Why can't it be something else? So information design basically means what relevant information would you show on the face of the product so that the final value from an information structure perspective becomes easier to discover, right? Again, I'll put it across. Go to amazon.com. You see why search on top of it? Because that is how information design is. That people essentially come with an intent of searching something. And they essentially go there and they search it across. अगर उन्होंने search ही गायब कर दी होती, and if there was no search on Amazon, don't you think the discovery of things would have been very less? Right? If there was no search on Amazon.com, would you have been able to discover the products that you essentially wanted? Give me a yes or no. जल्दी जल्दी बताओ. Give me a yes or no. Come on. Give me a yes or no. Give me a yes or no. I want yes or no as answers ASAP. Absolutely. You would have not been able to. So that's why information design is critical, right? From a product designer as well as a product manager perspective. Then what is interaction design? Can somebody tell me what is interaction design? Very cool. Can somebody tell me what is interaction design? Jaldi batao. What is interaction design? What is interaction design? Guys, I see 40 people in the stream. Please like the video. This is an amazing video that's going on till now. But jaldi batao. What is interaction design, guys? What is interaction design? I need an answer यार. यार ऐसे थोड़ी होता. मैं ही ज्ञान देता रहूंगा तो तुम क्या बताओगे यार? तुम भी बताओ. हाँ. Interaction design. Interaction. I need an answer to interaction design. What is interaction design? अच्छा. किसी ने अच्छा, who has noticed? How many of you have heard this line? पेटीएम पे 30 रुपए प्राप्त हुए. पेटीएम पे 30 रुपए प्राप्त हुए. किसने सुना है? Who has heard this line? Come on. Tell me. Who has heard this? पेटीएम पे 30 रुपए प्राप्त हुए. पेटीएम पे 500 रुपए प्राप्त हुए. पेटीएम पे. How many of you have heard this line? Very cool. सब लोग पैसे देने के लिए बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग लोग हैं. ठीक है ना? रोज सुनते हो ना? बहुत बढ़िया. This is a classic example of interaction design. The intent of that particular interaction design basically means when a consumer interacts with the product, right? What kind of experience the consumer has in order to understand that the value is delivered through that interaction. What I mean by that is like, so tell me the honest reason, what does this line Paytm pe X rupees prapt hue communicate to the end user? Does it communicate what is the amount of money? Is that the true intent? Ask yourself. Is that the true intent to tell that there is X amount transferred, or the intent is that a transaction has been done successfully? What is the true intent? Is the intent to communicate it to the end user that 300 rupees have been transferred to your account, or the intent is to tell him that the transaction which had started is now completed? Yes, that is so correct. Absolutely. The end users, the shopkeeper would not even care. They would not even remember ki previous amount kya tha, because there are so many transactions happening, right? But what is delightful for them is that whenever they hear this thing, they essentially mean, okay, transaction ho gayi. Yes. So this again, how many of you have seen this Apple ringtone? वो जो Apple की ringtone होती है, how many of you must have seen that, right? So even if a group of 50 people, if that ringtone comes across from Apple, you would essentially understand that, oh, somebody has an iPhone. Correct? यहाँ तक aligned है सब मेरे साथ? Is everybody aligned with me? Right? So is everybody aligned with me till now? That basically interaction design is the layer when you interact with the product. It gives you a sense of value confirmation of the action that you essentially want to take. That if the product layer is telling that my value is that a transaction should be done, how does the interaction effectively tell it to the end user that the actual this value has been done or not? मेक सेंस? यहां तक सब मेरे साथ अलाइंड है? इज एवरीबडी अलाइंड विद मी? व्हाट इज इंटरेक्शन डिजाइन? We will do a question on it यार, हम करेंगे. आज मैं बना नहीं पाया, unfortunately I was very busy last week. I have not been able to come up with a more simpler framework for you guys to effectively across. But यहां तक clarity है? ठीक है. अब विजुअल डिजाइन तो तुम्हें पता है, उसमें तो तुम महाराज हो. एवरीबडी इन योर की यूआई तो तुम सबको आता है, तो मैं विजुअल डिजाइन एक्सप्लेन नहीं करूंगा. बट यू शुड डेफिनेटली लर्न द प्रिंसिपल्स ऑफ यूआई डिजाइन. ठीक है? You should learn that. We will talk about that also. It can have color theory, what colors are good. It can be about spacing of buttons. It can be a bunch of things. ABCD, whatever. Not really worried about that. So these are the 4 layers of product design that essentially a product manager or a product designer has to consistently think about in order to deliver that value. A product sense question is primarily at a product thinking level, that okay, what can be the solution? How do I prioritize that solution? A product design question is that now you essentially know that this is the product layer. How do I effectively translate it into a solution? Right? Looking at these 4 principles, which is conceptual, information, interaction, and visual design, and effectively build a product layer which can essentially communicate the value that my product sense problem has figured out to the end user more effectively. बात समझ में आई? So a product design problem is about how do you effectively translate your product layer solution using the principles of product design, which is conceptual design, information design, interaction design, and visual design, to come up with a design layer which communicates the value of the product in the least possible effort. ठीक है, इसको मैं थोड़ा सा वैसे भी कर लेता हूं. लेट मी जस्ट रैप दिस अक्रॉस. ये बात सबको क्लियर है? ये दिख रहा है एवरीबडी, राइट? देयर आर स्टेप्स like wireframing and stuff like that. We'll talk about that, all of those things, right? But is this clear to you guys, what I'm trying to put across? Right? Yahan tak clarity hai? Give me a yes, 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 yes. Guys, please tell me, is there enough clarity about what I have taught you till now? Yes, batao. Awesome, awesome, amazing, amazing. So what I just want to tell you across is that this is also something that, but not everything is like a product design problem, right? What are not product design problems? Like if somebody tells you how to make a landing page or how to make a edtech app or how to make an app like Swiggy, do you really think it's a product design problem? Like if I tell you design and better experience of Swiggy's order booking flow, do you really think it's a product design problem? If I ask you this question, design a better order booking flow, right? Especially for Swiggy, do you think it's a product design problem? Give me a yes or no. Mahesh is नहीं खाली no, yes or no नहीं देना, बताना भी है कि क्यों, why? Tell me, शाबाश. Do you think it's a product design problem? Okay, no. A lot of people are saying no. So the reason it's not a product design problem is because of the very same fact that the mental models or the conceptual design of an order booking flow is already prefixed. It's already prefixed, right? So when there is not enough discovery from a consumer or a conceptual design perspective, right, then you're essentially building the UI. Practically. Yeah, you're practically building a new UI for them with some changes, with some button flow or something like that, some changes in interaction design. But truly, it's not a product design problem. Product design problem is when you have an ambiguous product and solution. And then you say, I will build some, and then you will learn product design. Okay, how do I think about? conceptual design. But if something is already pre-built by thousands of engineers, right, their collaborative effort is anyway going to make. So whenever these designers come to me and they say we have redesigned the Netflix experience, I say, dude, does it even make sense to even do that? Right? Does it even make sense to do that? Right? You might bring up improvements and stuff like that and whatever and whatnot. Right? That is all fine. Agreed. But on a practical basis, it's not a problem that you should solve for to learning product design. That's product improvement, or if you want to do something. Exactly. Nikhil is right. That is something like you want to do make a product improvement, you can definitely do that, right? But there are hundreds of engineers which have already come up with a thought process that this might be and it is used by millions of users, right? So you cannot make fundamental changes to the conceptual design layer, right? Ideally try to do those problems. Like, I'll give you a product design problem. How do you design a bathroom for blind people? Design a bathroom for blind people. That's a product design problem. Correct. तो आज मैं अब मैं क्या करता हूं यहां पे मैं I will kind of stop, and next 20 minutes I want you to ask any questions or etc. Next week we will actually solve a product design problem. I am sorry, the reason I wanted to solve it today only, लेकिन unfortunately मैं उसको time ही नहीं दे पाया. I was not able to, and I didn't want to cancel the session because I wanted to at least add value from that side. Next week we will do it, right? Okay, take it for fully blind people. It's fully blind people. Okay, so now I'll just stop sharing my screen. Okay, and effectively you ask any question that you feel like. It can be anything. I'll try to answer. Last 20 minutes is more like an AMA. Okay, ask me anything. Okay, so guys, over to you. Please feel free to ask me whatever questions you want to. Yeah, jaldi tell me, guys. Give me a second. मैं पीछे से वो दरवाजा बंद करके आता हूँ. 2 minutes. Come on. Nobody has questions, which is weird. Come on, guys. Questions? Any questions that you want to ask? Feel free to ask. Acha, brief about PRD. Yeah, Mahesh, I have already done. Okay, give me a second. Okay, sure. Brief about PRD. Need to. Okay, so Mahesh, PRDs are generally core documents, right? The structure is very similar to a product sense structure. You essentially define the objective, which the objective has to be very, very clear, measurable, achievable, and rewarding. Measurable, achievable, and rewarding. Objective, then you essentially explain the problem. What is the next step in the problem? Like, I'll just write it down here. So a PRD structure, according to me, is like this. You write the objective, which is measurable, achievable, and rewarding. Measurable means something that you can measure as a metric. Achievable basically means the user can actually achieve it, right? And rewarding basically, once the user achieves it, it essentially becomes something like a wow experience, right? Then you explain the problem statement, which is why the problem makes sense. It can be based on a TAM perspective. How large is the TAM? What are the current solutions? Or whatever, right? Then essentially you write something like a high-level solution. And basically, what can be the high-level solution? It's like a one-pager or something like that, a one paragraph, which this essentially shows people your product sensibility. Okay, post the high level solution, you define the metrics. What are the core metrics? right? And then you will write the KPIs. It can be revenue, it can be engagement, it can be a number of things. Then you essentially define the feature flows or user stories and break down the high level solution into feature flows and user stories, where you can write, we need to build a referral module, etc., whatever it is. Then post feature flows, you essentially write feature chunks where you define technical specifications, which is not tech API documentation or whatever. It is basically a button by button flow. Okay? Post feature chunks, you essentially talk about how will you measure data, basically how will you capture data. So KPI hai, how will they get captured? So you will essentially say I will use it clever tap. If it's a UI product or something like that, I will use Optimizely or whatever it is. Then you probably say wireframes. What are those wireframes? Then you essentially say what is out of scope. You will write assumptions. What are my assumptions? And then you essentially say FAQs, where engineering, design, and business will write their questions. How will this happen or that happen? Make sense? बात समझ में आई? Is it clear to you guys? Aligned? Is this Yahan Mahesh? Did I answer any person who had a question about the PRD? Is it clear? ठीक है. So Ayush is saying need to read up some concepts on product design for an interview next week. What should I read? Ayush, what I'll do is drop me a text on LinkedIn. I will send you some books which you can essentially read about, and you can essentially cover like 2-3 chapters over there. ठीक है. राहुल इज सिंह सर कंपटीटर एनालिसिस के लिए डेटा कहां से लाएं? यार मल्टीपल जगहें होती हैं, बट आई वुड आइडियली से देयर इज इनफ डेटा इफ यू लुक एट पीआर रिव्यूज ऑफ द कंपनी, देन यू लुक एट स्टैटिस्टा, मल्टीपल प्लेसेस आर देयर. इट शुड बी इजी फॉर यू टू, इफ यू डू अ लॉट ऑफ रिसर्च ऑन गूगल यू विल फिगर इट आउट. बट आई विल डू अ लेक्चर ऑन कॉम्पिटिटर डिजाइन आल्सो, सो दैट इज समथिंग दैट आई. सो मानिक, डिड I already laid out the structure. Bhaiya, do we have to create case studies? So Shweta is saying, do we have to create case studies to understand PM concepts? Absolutely. That's why I specifically wanted you to build something like a Notion portfolio, which mera portfolio to sabke paas hi hai. You guys already have my Notion portfolio, right? So you essentially have to make that, right? How to think like a product manager. Same thing. You will have to practice about doing a lot of decons, and that is something that you essentially would have to do, Saloni. It takes time, but go through the videos, whatever exercises I do, like Manik, like Mayank, they are actually doing exercises. And believe me, Mayank and Manik, I want people who are doing the assignments that I'm sending across to you. Are you finding value? Are you essentially able to see their thought process is improving? People who are doing assignments, tell me. Manik, Mayank, people who have Gaurav, all of the people who have done assignments, are you able to see a slight difference in your thinking ability? Give me an honest answer. जल्दी बताओ. So Saloni, here is your answer. People are, right? That's exactly what I'm saying. ठीक है? तो बहुत बढ़िया. I'm very happy. ठीक है? I will do a video on portfolio for sure. So Anirudh, we don't include user personas in PRD. You can. Well, it's completely your choice. But definitely, if you can do that, that's a good thing. Right? Acha. So can you come up with a session for API validation webhooks? I'll do a tech session completely. मैं एक system design का एक session करने वाला हूँ. I'll probably bring one of my very close friends who is a leader in system design. He is also going to help across, but I'll do a design on system design, API structures, and all of those things. I'll do that. ठीक है? Awesome. Then Mayank, इसमें non-functional features like security and responsiveness of the site नहीं रहेगा. You can write it. It's a good thing. It can be part of the FAQ also. Very cool, right? What should be in our portfolio? Dude, my portfolio is available. I'll still share across my portfolio here. Just go through it and you'll be able to figure out a lot of things. Give me a second. I'll just share the link here. Give me a second. Okay. Bhaiya, can we have sessions on Saturday and Sunday? Yaar, mere paas, honestly, to be very honest, I don't have that much time. But you can tell me what is the ideal time. I want more people. And you should bring your friends yaar, who are coming in. I'm giving so much value, right? Tell me honestly, from the bottom of your heart, am I not trying to give you all of the information? Right? Hey, Anurag, I usually don't join, but as a lead PM, this has been a brilliant session to all aspiring and lap it up. Thanks, man. Thank you very much. That's very kind of you to say that. So, all I'm trying to put across is I want more and more people to come in. I'm doing genuinely from the bottomness of my heart. I'm putting a lot of effort. All I'm expecting from all of you guys is to bring more people in, right? And you tell me what is workable for you. I will do one session every week. But you tell me what is the ideal time for you. Reach out to me on LinkedIn and tell me, yeah. So that's all I am expecting from you. Okay? So guys, what I'll do, I'll just quickly wrap this session here. I hope you loved the session. I hope that I'm able to add value. Please like the session. Please give your comments on the YouTube video, what you liked, what you disliked. I will take your feedback. And whatever time you essentially say, maybe it's on a Saturday, I'll figure it out. Till that point, I'm really thankful. And jitne bhi logon ne video dekha, please like the video, please share it with as many people. I want 10 LinkedIn posts today of what you have learned from the video today, tagging me, tagging the channel, and doing it across so that more and more people can essentially understand. I will create a community, right? What is the one quality you don't want in a product owner, bhai? We'll talk about it, right? So Anurag is saying, if you can do it, transition from B2C and B2B and vice versa. Anurag, I'll do that. That's a very good suggestion. A lot of people have effectively told me that. I'll do that for sure. Thank you very much. Yeah. Solve one problem from scratch. Last week we actually did, Mahesh. Guys, didn't we solve two problems from scratch last week? This week I didn't get time. Next week we're going to solve one problem completely from scratch. It will be a completely new problem. The assignment is that I'm going to today is design a bath. Assume that you are a PM, you are a product manager for DLF, right? You're a product manager for DLF. You are told that there is a large market to design a bathroom for blind people, right? Now you have to essentially leverage the principles of product design to come up with a bathroom design. And this time I want wireframes in your PRD. How will you think about it? Make sense? Acha. Anirudh is saying that, bhaiya, assignment feedback. Let me just quickly check. Give me a second. Yeah. So I'm going to do one feedback. So guys, are you able to see my screen? I just quickly want to share that. Okay, I'll write it across. Okay. First, let me write it. Okay. Assume you are a PM for DLF. Okay. DLF, that basically the real estate company. You are told that there is a large market based out of India for blind people using bathrooms. Currently, the problem is they are effectively in need of someone else to guide them, which leads to no confidence building, making them believe they are impaired, and embarrassment. So you are told design a bathroom for blind people so that they can effectively use the bathroom on their own. Now there are two constraints. Don't come up with outlandish solutions such as I will build a moving chair and using AI it will figure out. If you do shit like that, then most people would not even be able to buy this across. Make a viable bathroom for blind people. I want you to start from what are the problems, right? I'll just quickly turn this into this so that you can effectively read it. I'll just quickly make it slightly bigger. Okay? So this is the problem. Take a screenshot, guys. Take a screenshot. Take a screenshot, guys. Everybody has taken a screenshot. Okay? Take a screenshot, guys. Okay, fair enough. So everybody has taken a screenshot. Is everybody, give me a yes, yes, yes in the chat. Understood. Amazing. ठीक है, बढ़िया. ठीक है. So this is what we essentially have to do. So this is something that we will do, right? And you effectively have to come up with this. Now, I just want to take one assignment example which people have done and I will just share it. I think Gaurav has shared one assignment which I effectively liked across. Let me, Gaurav Dhara. I will quickly share my screen. Share screen. Where is, yes, here, there you go. So you can share the assignment on this shravantikku23@gmail.com. Okay? You can do that, guys. Okay? So Gaurav has effectively said, last time he clarified the problem. We aim to build co-viewing collaborative movie experience on Netflix that mimics the feeling of watching films, etc. Very cool. Product vision, to bring people closer and make geography unimportant between individuals by creating a shared immersive. Very cool. Product mission, he spoke about the mission. Our mission is to create a that leverages cutting edge technology to enable you to watch movies with your friends in real time. We intend to improve the social and emotional elements while viewing films. Then he did user segmentation. Then he figured out picking the which problem statement is important. Then he figured out user needs, what are the pain points, then prioritize those pain points, then came up with solutions, right? Then effectively prioritize those solutions, then come up with KPI and success metrics, what we will measure. And here did he stop. Now the next step would be, यहाँ पे प्रोडक्ट सेंस खत्म हो गया. इसके बाद very good work done. Now comes the principle of product design. How will you design it from this, right? So very good, guys. जो ये लोग कर रहे हैं ना, वो मचाएंगे लाइफ में. मैं ये क्लैरिटी से बोल रहा हूँ. Anybody who is doing the assignments that I'm putting across, they're going to do it, right? So awesome, Anurag. Very cool, very cool. Do let me know what is his feedback, right? So guys, I'll stop here. Thank you very much for giving your time. Please like the video. Please share your comments. Please do LinkedIn posts as much as possible by telling what you learned from the session. And next week, be ready. We will solve a problem together. And I also want you guys to come up with what topics should I cover, right? It also helps me learn also, right? So I want you guys to come give me feedback honestly, and we will then close it across. Thank you very much. क्या शेयर कर दूं ये राहुल इज सेइंग क्या शेयर कर दी, क्या शेयर करूंगा बेसिकली जो मैंने स्प्रेडशीट बनाई थी. अच्छा स्प्रेडशीट, फेयर इनफ, गिव मी अ सेकंड. ठीक है, इसमें मैं नाम रखता हूं प्रोडक्ट डिजाइन सेव. ठीक है, इसमें आएगा रिस्ट्रिक्टेड नहीं आएगा, एवरीबॉडी विद द लिंक, कॉपी लिंक. एक मिनट यार, ये लो. ठीक है, ओके गाइस, have a great day. Enjoy. I hope you loved the session. Please, thank you very much for coming across. See you next week. Awesome, guys. Bye-bye.